is only one turn fighter in disguise, and I do not share power. So here's a little tidbit. Did you know that in the RAF, the British RAF, there's actually a guy from Singapore? Yes. Not a ground mechanic, not some radio operator. No, a pilot. A man from Singapore in the RAF trained to be a pilot. And his name is Tan K Hai. Seriously, go look it up. Hey guys, it's Jim here, and welcome back to War Thunder. And today, we are checking out the real turn fighter of the low tier. This is the Spitfire Mk, and it's the plane that gave the Germans a run for their money in the Battle of Britain, to the point where the Germans are asking Hermann Goering to please give them 12 Spitfires. Wonder if anyone get that reference. Anyway, let me break it down to you, and I'll show you why this aircraft is a little bit less lacking than you think. End of the day, you just need to know what you're doing with it. Okay, first things first, the flight characteristics. Max speed is 584 km an hour. For a turn fighter, especially comparing with the A6M and the P36G, this is actually pretty good. Like, you are a really fast turn fighter. The only problem is that you're a Spitfire. You're a turn fighter. So that means you can't really go any higher than this, otherwise you end up tearing your plane up. And not to mention, since again you're a turn fighter, that means you don't have a very good energy retention. So that's something to be careful of. Especially when you're going up against energy fighters or boom and zoom aircraft. And another thing to note is that for some reason when you're flying this thing at like 400 kilometers an hour or above, because you for some reason keep finding yourself in a boom and zoom situation instead of a turn fighter situation, like you will see in this video. For some reason when you're flying this thing at 400 kilometers an hour, even though you do turn exceed somewhat well, it feels like your plane is like fighting you. Like you don't aileron roll to either dodge or to have to re-engage the enemy too well. It kind of feels like you're turning a bus. I really have no idea why. So try to keep your speed below 400 at most when you're flying this thing. Now turn time. This is what really scares people. You have 15 seconds turn time, so that means you are actually a better turn fighter than the A6M and the P36. Unless of course you want to throw in the Chaikas. But anyway, 15 seconds turn time. Like, you will basically outturn everybody you come across. Especially if they decided to commit to a turn fight. Which thankfully at this battle rating, not a lot of people would actually do that. So yeah, bravo to you. And finally, rate of climb. I still really don't know how to read this, honestly. So I'm just gonna say from my experience flying this thing, it does climb actually pretty well. It doesn't climb as well as the German boom and zoom aircraft and maybe not even the Soviet turn fighters, but the rate of climb is actually not bad. I've seen worse rate of climb than this. So you can actually easily get up to high altitude, which honestly normally I would just go around 2,500 meters in altitude and then just turn fire from there. Or if the enemy is just playing low tier, the enemy is just playing low altitude with the German fighters, and then you're forced to do boom and zoom. Seriously guys, what the fuck? No, another thing to keep in mind is that even though you have a pretty good climb rate, pretty good max speed, here's something you need to be aware of. Now, you may know about the Spitfire and its Merlin steam engines, but something to keep in mind is that it overheats pretty easily, even at 100% instead of wepping. It does actually overheat. So there's something to be careful of when you're flying this thing. Maybe cut your speed down to like 95% when you're not like going anywhere quickly, you're just, doing a slow climb. And another thing as well is that, like most turn fighters, you are a very paper aircraft. So that's something to be careful of. And how people are we talking? Enemy plane sets you on fire. You're not putting that out anytime soon. Yeah, I wish I was joking when I said that. As well as your fuel tanks are not self-sealing, so they put rounds in here. Yeah, that's goodbye to you. And now moving on, we have the annoying part of this aircraft, the armaments. And let me show you why. As you can see, you don't have any autocannons or 50 cals on board. What you have instead is 303 Browning machine guns. So that means most of the time your machine gun just pepper the enemy instead of setting them on fire or doing significant damage to their wings. But here's the good news though. For a low tier aircraft with small arms caliber machine guns, you have a really good ammo loadout. So what I'll be running is the universal belt. In a burst of 5 rounds, you have 1 tracer bullet, 1 solid armor piercing, 2 armor piercing incendiaries, and 1 regular incendiary. So yeah, this is why I say that this is actually pretty interesting compared to other aircraft with the same small caliber machine guns, because usually they have like a lot of armor piercing rounds and not enough incendiary. This belt straight up has API, which means setting planes on fire is actually a lot more likely to happen. Now, you may consider the tracer belt. In fact, this is what I actually used to run when I played the Spitfire Mk when it was at 2.7. Incendiary tracer bullet and then armor piercing incendiary bullet. So that means every tracer round you see, there's an armor piercing incendiary bullet in between them. Not to mention, the tracer round itself is an incendiary bullet as well. However, why I stopped using this belt is I suspect Gaijin nerfed this before even bringing this up to 3.0. Now, I used to set fire to planes with this belt, no issue. Not even Soviet fighters are safe from this. But I guess people got mad, so they nerfed it, which is why I run the universal belt. But if you think it's viable, feel free to run the tracers. I'm not going to stop you. Now, you want to run the stealth belt? Be my guest. Just again, remember, when it comes to using the stealth belt, you need to know what you're doing. Now, here's the next important part to be careful of when you're playing the Spitfire. You might be thinking, these are small arms, right? So that means you have a lot of rounds. As you can see, 2,800 rounds, right? Well, keep in mind, you have 8 of these 303 Browning machine guns. So what does that mean? That means you only have 350 rounds per machine gun, going around at 1,000 rounds a minute. You'll be surprised at how fast you burn that 350 rounds if you're not careful. So my advice, if you're confident with your shot, maybe go around 300-400 meters. In distance, fire short bursts, do not long bursts, they're saying. Alright, that's all I gotta say about the Spitfire. Now let's take this thing out and show the Japanese fighter who are the real turn fighters in this battle.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
This is just nasty. Why did you lead into me, you jerk? Why would you do that, you idiot? 190.
A little more effort, and victory will be ours. Get him. Just keep it up, and victory will be ours.
I'm out of fuel. Go down.
Enemy is winning.
you ram him? You piece of shit! That's not you guys. Why would you go after the key 43, dude? Just why? It's personal now.
We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning.
Somebody attack him. Heading to the base.